All right, hey guys, so we're just gonna come right into the next section. I'm sitting on a block this time, working into our Malasana. I'm just gonna angle towards you to make it a little easier to show you what I'm doing. So depending on your hips, 1 block, 2 blocks. So we're gonna start just in a Malasana position. So depending on your ankles, your Achilles, your calves, whether you wanna cant your heels in a little or straight back is up to you. So I like mine straight back so that my knees can track forward and strengthen the inner side of the legs. So we're just going to sit here and build some tension by pressing the hands out and squeezing the legs against the back of the arms at the same time. Reaching up through the spine, inhale. And on the exhale, squeeze the knees together, press the arms apart, and then pull the deep belly in. Build that tension hip bone to hip bone. So it's not going to look like much is happening, but I'm building up a big isometric hold here. Pecs, arms, inner thighs, right, and belly. 1 more breath in. Squeeze and exhale. And then release. So you might find a little more flexibility, a little more openness in the knees once you do that. And then you can take your time if you'd like to do any sort of twisting or shifting to be comfortable in your Malasana. And then we're going to work on trying to lift our bottom off our block and hover our Malasana, right? So a Malasana usually just hovers right off the block. So that's all we're going to do by engaging the inner thighs. To start, we can use a block as a counterweight. If you don't have one of these heavy blocks, you can use a kettlebell or a weight or a jug of water or something, somebody else's hands too. Okay, so we're just going to reach it forward, start to press into our heels, begin to squeeze our inner thighs, reach and hover. I'm going to move the block so you can see I just hover and sit back down. So we're going to do this as many times as necessary. If you feel like you're not getting up here, add another block and use a different counterweight. Okay, and if it feels relatively easy, you can lose the counterweight and just lift and see what happens. If that feels okay, you can go ahead and lose the low block. Return the counterweight, press up, squeeze inner thighs together, and sit back down. Press up, squeeze, and sit back down. Now before you lose the counterweight, we can do this in a roll up position, so tucking back on our back and rolling up, pressing into our heels, squeezing our inner thighs so that we can catch this from a little bit of momentum that helps get our bottom off the ground. So we're just going to roll back, so you're nice and tucked, plant the heels, reach forward, squeeze the inner thighs is what catches you. This will help you avoid bashing right back to your butt. You might just come, boop, right back to your butt, and that's okay, just roll right back down, tuck in, pull the belly in, plant the heels, squeeze in. So if that feels fine, you feel good, then you can try to challenge yourself right from a seated position. Reach forward, press and squeeze, sink back down, reach forward, press, and sink back down. So this is just a drill for mobility and strength in the hips, the glutes, the inner thighs, the adductor muscles. That's it. And then it can become fun because you can roll up into your crow, you can roll up into your handstand, you can make your yoga very cardio intensive if you'd like. Or you can just use these as a complementary drill for your yoga practice. Okay, so moving deeper into the hips, we're going to come into a wider stance. I'm going to turn my mat towards you so you can see my feet. So for this one, I'm going to track my feet right forward and just step as wide as the mat. So I'm a little wider than my hips. And then I'm just going to gently sink into the left side. You can interlace the hands if that feels good. Pressing the left hip back. Now notice my right pinky stays down. I'm pressing on the inner side of the leg, focusing right here, adductor, inner muscle that squeezes the leg together. So engage it. Use your hand if you have to touch it. Feel it tense. Maybe the glute tenses a little too. This leg can tense. If it feels good, touch the fingers down. Reach up and find a twist. This will intensify the stretch right here. If it's too much, back up, come back here. Okay, and then just shift and do the same thing on the other side. Lug the right hip back, drop the inner thigh down, and then light it up, engage it. Press through the foot outside of the pinky. If you like the twist, take the twist. But keep this twist focusing on the inner thigh rather than how deep you can twist your body in this direction. Okay, so you can even keep your right hand right here on your knee. And then come back to center, release the legs, okay, and roll back up. So from here, we're going to move into a half Malasana or a Skandasana position. You would just pivot on your mat. I'm moving it so I can stay facing towards you. So I'm going to widen my stance a little more like I would in a figure 4 or a warrior 2 position. Keep both feet tracking forward and sink that lunge a little deeper. So this is just a half Malasana. The foot stays nice and grounded. The heel can lift a little. If you like this and you want to keep working here, work here. Otherwise, just rotate the toes up, coming into more of a Skandasana, Cossack squat. It really depends on who you ask and what people want to call it. It is a side lunge. That's all it has to be. And you can bow forward and see if this helps sink your heel back. Rock forward, drop the knee, sink back. Right, and then just work the same thing on the other side. Always, always actively engaging these inner thigh muscles. Maybe they come down. Hi, buddy, I'm almost done. And then toes up, feet down, toes up. Just please 5 minutes, okay? I'm almost done. I promise, I promise, I promise. Reach forward, tap the knees, press back. Tap the knees, press back. Okay, and then you can just slink side to side, however it feels good. For a little added challenge, just like we did our Malasana get up, you can do a Skandasana get up. Drop the toe, lift up, press forward, use the inner thigh, slink over to the other side, sink your bottom, lower the knee, same thing, back and forth.